Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. I was chatting it up with Wally, wallysbeanmachine.com. In fact, it threw off my whole morning. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, yeah?
We were chatting with Wally for so long that I haven't been able to get my double shot of espresso with cappuccino. So, thanks, Wally.
The guy who provides the energy boost didn't allow you to get your energy boost.
My energy guy denied the energy. So we're going to drag through the first break as best we can.
Coffee blocked.
We got aliens today. That wasn't on my bingo card. I mean, I thought we were going to talk about these lunatic Democrats a lot, which we will. Scott Sepiki's going to join us in studio at 11 o'clock.
Heck yeah.
Looking forward to Scott. He said that, so this is, me and Scott are texting. People be texting. Everybody knows that, right? You know
people
that.
Be texting.
So we're texting. And he said that yesterday was the first time that he felt like he was threatened at the Tennessee Capitol. First time. Scott's a big guy. So for him to feel threatened, that is a wild statement. We'll have Scott in here. Justin Pearson, Justin Jones, the absolute performative outrage that we saw yesterday was just clownish. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. I'm here for it. I love it. They're watching their gravy train disappear in real time, and we're celebrating. Good. You know what I did yesterday? I summed everything up in one quick sentence. Suck it, losers. That's kind of how I feel when it comes to the redistricting and the new map. Listen, Governor Lee, I've had my meh on Governor Lee. If this is the legacy he leaves behind, I think it's a pretty good legacy. And he officially signed it into law, a 9 Republican, 0 Democrat 2026 congressional map. And it all goes back to the Supreme Court outlawing racial gerrymandering. And we're here for it. Angry leftists stormed the Capitol yesterday. We'll talk all about that. I got all the UFO videos. Has anybody gone to war.gov/UFO yet? Have you gone to that website yet, Mason? Can you put it up on the screen for me, bud? Because people be wanting to see them space aliens.
Oh, trust me. I want to see them too.
Space demons? Space demons.
Were you impressed?
No.
Me neither.
I saw it was Chad yesterday. Chad was like, this is going to make people question their faith. I said, joke's on you. I'm going to faith even harder. So, I don't know. Like, it looks like something a 4-year-old could do in Photoshop. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm not falling for this one world government crap. I'm scrolling through the pictures now. Oh, another dot. Oh, another dot. Oh my gosh, a dot. 2 dots. You know, so grainy black and white photos. Grainy black and white videos. I thought we had 4K cameras. Why is it that every piece of UFO evidence always looks like it's shot on a Razor phone from the early 2000s?
Same thing with cryptids.
Like, why?
Bigfoot's out there. Why
Is
the photo's always blurry?
Is it just me?
I'm just saying.
I'm quicker to believe in Bigfoot than I am in aliens. Prove me wrong.
I'm here for it.
Bigfoot has some evidence.
Yeah.
Bigfoot has some evidence. What are you eating over there, Joan? Did you hear that? Crunching on something.
I should turn the mic off when I do that.
She's crunching on something. What are you crunching on?
It's actually crunches in a little bit of yogurt, you know?
Oh, she got a little parfait going on?
Yeah. I couldn't have any of those donuts you guys got.
A little breakfast parfait.
Donuts?
A little breakfast parfait in Jonestown.
If there's no donuts, it's because Sam ate all of them.
Dude, the kid had
That's fair.
6 donuts.
6.
No shock over
And
here.
as he's walking out, I saw him go back into the break room. Unbelievable.
Watched him walk out with a Krispy Kreme hat on. I was like, oh, you forgot your crown.
Dude, he did. He did. Are you going to wear that hat?
No, he took it with him.
We know how much of a hat aficionado you are. We talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, all that stuff I said in the beginning of the podcast yesterday, edit out.
Oh, for sure.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'll put it in and only upload that part.
Just mute it. Mute it. We'll have to have a team of lip readers. So the UFO stuff, I don't know, dude. I'm not really impressed. I'm just not. We do have an Apollo 17 transcript. This is making the rounds too. Fox News is covering this. Let me know what you think on the UFO. 615-737-9996. I think the biggest part about this is how it's going to be met with a whimper by the American public, and nobody's really going to care. Is right? Like, is anybody really going to be losing their minds over this? I don't think so. Unless you come out with some HD pictures, and we get Blip Blop, the alien, on TV during a press conference. I don't think anybody's really going to care. This is Fox News this morning.
One of the astronauts says, we've got a few very bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver. The control center says, Roger, understood. Another astronaut says, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window down there, just bright. It looks like the 4th of July out of Ron's window. Another astronaut says, yes, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling. This exchange has long been dismissed as floating insulation. But now the White House is saying, while this photo has been previously released and discussed by keen observers, there is no consensus about the nature of the anomaly. And this all started, of course, because we asked the president about it in February.
So, I mean, even on their own files, they're like, no, nobody really is sure what it is. Space trash? Is it space trash?
It's space trash.
People be polluting. They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
But it do.
I don't know. I guess I'm just, am I not conspiracy theory enough on this one?
I don't know. And the fact that Obama came out and was like, they're real.
And everybody's like, Marco Rubio went to talk to the Pope. There's secret meetings with pastors. Okay. And like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in this.
I don't either.
Like, I don't believe it. Paul is in his truck, and you had an encounter, Paul?
Well, as a kid, I was in this field, and I'm looking up at the stars. I've always had an affinity for that. And so I see this, what I think is a star, and I'm pointing at it. And it gets brighter, it gets dimmer, it gets brighter. Then it goes straight up in the air, no hesitation, flies right over my head. And it was 150 feet wide, easy, and 100 feet deep or so, 75 feet. And it just flew over, slow as Christmas, no noise whatsoever. Now, fast forward.
But okay, but like here's skeptical Chris coming in. How do we know that that's not just a military craft that is being tested?
Well, I was 12 years old, so that would put me 43, 44 years ago. So I don't know. But let's fast forward real quick. So my ex-wife and I wake up one morning. We both have BB-sized objects in our earlobes, left earlobes, same time. Fast forward to my now wife and I. We both had objects in our ears, upper ear, same ear, same time. And I guarantee you, I can't guarantee it wasn't military craft, but it didn't make one sound, and it was massive. Not a noise, nothing. Of course, no one believed me. I was 12 years old.
You had BB pieces of metal in your ears?
Well, BB size, whatever it was, it felt like a BB in my ear. My ex-wife and I both at the same time. And
Okay.
my now wife and I also had something in our ears after we started cohabitating.
What did you do with the object after you got it out of your ear?
Well, I didn't get it out. There was no blemish. There was no nothing. And my wife actually went to.
So how do you know you had anything in your? How do you know you had anything in your ear?
Because I could feel it. It felt like a BB in my earlobe.
How do we know it's not bed bugs or spiders?
No. Dude, I'm telling you. Me and my ex-wife, she would verify it too. It was crazy town.
Okay,
It was crazy town. We couldn't believe it.
So you saw a craft, and then you woke up and you felt you had metal in your ears.
No, when I was 12 years old, I saw the craft. It was right over this massive man-made lake that had been drained. this lake was probably meant. We used to play war there. This is, the 80s, so, Reagan and all that. So, it was a perfect place for that thing to land, and it was right over it.
Paul, I'm not. I have such a hard time believing you. I'm sorry. I don't. And I don't. I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this.
It was crazy, dude. I don't know what to make of it to this day. Okay?
So
and
what?
I don't know what to make of the BB-sized objects or nothing.
How do you know it was a BB-sized object if you never got it out of your ear?
Because I could feel it in my earlobe. I could feel it. It moved.
In your earlobe. But then what happened? And then it just disappeared.
And the ex-wife, yeah,
and this was decades removed from the aircraft that you saw.
It was.
How do you know that? How are you associating that with the aliens?
Well, I'm not. I'm just associating it with that's what I saw back in the day. So, and then not just my ex-wife and I, but my new wife and I both had something in our ears as soon as we started cohabitating.
So now they're after your wife too, your new wife too.
Look, man, I wouldn't make it up.
Did your ex-wife? I'm just questioning. Did your ex-wife remarry?
Oh yeah.
Did the new husband also find metal in his earlobes? That wasn't actually found?
Well, I don't know if it was metal or not, but I don't know anything about that because I wouldn't have been talking to those jokers. So.
That's a bridge too far for Paul. Paul, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Steven. What's up, Steve?
How's it going, my man?
I'm good. I just don't believe in the UFO stuff. I don't. Maybe I'm on an island here. I don't necessarily feel like this is proof of anything.
No, I'm with you, man. It's there's a lot of people that like to just tell stories, and once there's a main story that's usually brought out by the government or by the news media about some sci-fi fantasy thing, people all start creating their own little stories off of it and spin off of it just to try to get other people to believe in it. And it's just, a lot of people like to tell stories, man, and try to add to the myth of whatever it is. But my thing about it is if there's things being spotted that we don't know what they are and they're moving at high rates of speeds, they have to be unmanned. Now, it could be possible there are things like that are being remotely controlled. Also, I don't know about satellites in outer space along with something linked on the ground here on Earth, but a lot of people have claimed that they've seen this luminous light, and it's like the shape of a round shape or a pill or something. And I'm just thinking, it could be a hologram of some kind or a holograph, like a long range. I don't know if we have the capabilities to do that, but I remember video games back in the 80s where you're looking at a flat screen and a little hologram walks out, and it was pretty amazing. So I'm pretty sure the technology by now has came a long way, and anything that we could see that we don't really understand or that looks kind of like luminous, it could be something that's being projected, to make it even look solid.
Yeah,
so, but, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I have, and I appreciate the call. I have a hard time believing any of this. And you have a great opportunity if you want to convince me of this. 615-737-9986. I'm looking at the pictures, and I don't believe any of them. Okay, so this one picture. Hold on, I just lost it. There's a picture on the UFO website, war.gov/UFO, and it's like this huge craft. But then it says actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitness reports. So one of the pieces of evidence that they've posted on the war.gov/UFO is freaking Photoshop. Is that anybody? Is it just me? Right? Like, look, it literally says, if you're watching us on Super Talk TV, I'll highlight it. Actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitnesses' statements. So the evidence that you have is a photoshopped image from the FBI?
Yeah, we fake this stuff.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's right. Like, that's like one of the first ones that they show.
And they're not hiding it.
FBI lab rendered graphic. Oh, so it ain't real? It's always filmed on a flip phone from 2003, right? We'll take some of your phone calls on this on the way. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me that aliens are real. And how is it that we're just going to discount the fact that the U.S. military wouldn't have any of this kind of stuff in secret? I mean, you think about all the tech that the U.S. military has, that they have told us for years that they don't have, and then we find out that they do have. Military tech is what, 20, 30 years before ahead of what we have in the public sector and in the private sector? Come on. I'll take some of your phone calls on the way. 923 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. And if you're afraid of aliens coming down from outer space, get yourself a Glock at the Glock Store. And the perfect day to go there is going to be at their 6th annual open house. It's happening Saturday, May 30th. It's always a great time. Always lots to do. Always lots to win. Last year, they doubled down on the raffle and gave away over $25,000 worth of great gear, including 3 Glocks. Perfect if you're nervous about aliens. In one day, 4 hours, twice as much as the year before. It's a lot of raffling. Well, the vendors had such a great time last year, and the guys at the Glock Store are so excited about this year that they have decided to double down again. And currently, they have over $50,000 worth of great gear to give away in one day in 4 hours. From Red Dot Optics to Radian Ramjets, if it's the latest, if it's the greatest, they're giving it away on Saturday, May 30th. The earlier you come, the less raffle tickets that will be in the bucket, so the better your chances of winning and winning early. Glock Store 6th Annual Nashville Open House, May 30th, 10 to 2, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Myself, Mandis, Murphy, will all be in attendance. You should be there too on Saturday, May 30th, glockstore.com.
Up ahead here on Super Talk 99.7, a massive defeat for Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger and her Democrat legislature. Ooh, boy, it's coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom in Jonestown. My name is Chris Hand. I'm back here in the studio, 10 Music Circle East. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. We're reviewing all the fake images that NASA and the War Department put out on UFOs. We'll break it all down. I got a text from Rodney. Rodney said, "Come on, Chris. Nancy Pelosi's enough proof that aliens exist." Listen, there's a huge difference between aliens and lizard people. And I'm in on lizard people.
Yeah, lizard people come from here.
Below the earth, not above the earth.
Not from space.
So then another guy, I lost the text. He was like, "You don't think God would create life on other planets?" So I said to Mason, I said, "Do I go full flat earth and talk about the firmament?"
You got to address the glass dome.
Do we address the glass dome? Are we allowed to address the glass dome?
I think you have to today, especially with topic at hand.
I don't know. I believe that the U.S. military has tech that we can't comprehend. I think that we could make the argument that what we're seeing with the advances in AI, the U.S. military had 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right? Like, am I wrong for thinking that?
I think you're right.
So, what? This is, am I crazy for thinking that they could have a drone that could fly as fast as what they're talking about, go underwater, come back up above water? Why wouldn't they have something like that? Also, you ever see the Nazi UFOs? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. None of this would shock me if it was the U.S. military. I think it's a pretty convenient cover story.
Makes sense.
We'll talk about more on the way. 615-737-9986. 931 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 9:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we have breaking news. The Virginia Supreme Court has struck down the state legislature's Democratic gerrymander, saying it violated the Virginia Constitution. A quote from that decision saying this violation irreparably undermines the integrity of the resulting referendum vote and renders it null and void. So the congressional map returns to its former design with 6 Democrat and 5 Republican seats.
Let's go.
Yeah, what a good day this is. There will be challenges to Tennessee's newly redrawn congressional lines, and some in the state legislature say they'll take it a step further. Here's State Representative Antonio Parkinson.
The passing of that bill was as egregious as I've seen.
But the new lines drawn in the Tennessee congressional districts aren't the only new boundaries Parkinson says are in the conversation.
I'm advocating to become a state.
Parkinson is calling for Memphis to leave the volunteer state altogether.
Let my people go.
And his vision even stretches beyond the Shelby County border. He's calling for the state to split at the eastern border of Davidson County, which saw a similar split by redistricting back in 2022.
That's Channel 4's Sarah Ellen reporting. And Star Wars actor Mark Hamill has deleted a photo from his Blue Sky account after receiving backlash. The photo showed President Trump lying on a grave, hands crossing his chest, eyes closed as if he's dead. The caption read, "If only." He posted it just days after the assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. President Trump responded to it, calling Hamill a deranged lunatic. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. If your home is not as comfortable as it should be right now, well, it's the perfect time to call my guys over at Busy Bee. They got some pretty strong offers happening right now that will save you a ton of money. Right now, you can get special financing on new HVAC systems with up to 12 months, no payments, no interest. It varies by credit, but you get no prepayment penalties, and it'll give you some breathing room. And here's the bonus. If you install a high-efficiency system, 17C or higher, you're also going to get a Yeti Tundra 45 cooler. Not a bad deal. Now, if you're good on the HVAC, but you're more focused on air quality, well, check out their Healthy Hive package. It includes an electronic air cleaner, a whole home UV system. Normally, it's right around $2,800, but you can get installed today for $22.99, and they'll even handle the TVA rebates for you, so you're saving more money without doing any work. We're talking up to $800 back on mini splits, $500 to $800 on heat pumps, and even $50 back on AC tune-ups. Now, if you got plumbing issues, they got deals there too. $300 off. What was that? You jamming? You can put it back on. That was a jam. $300. $300 off whole home drain repipes. $500 off water distribution repipes. So whether it's heating, cooling, plumbing, or the occasional elevator music, my guys at Busy Bee have you covered. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. $38 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm looking at the UFO photos. It's war.gov/UFO. And underwhelmed, unimpressed, in some cases admittedly fake by the government.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
And that really does cut to the core, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, give me something else. Give me something real.
I had higher hopes.
I really did too. They said, we gathered all the pastors. We got to look out for your flock. Here's a FBI Photoshop of what witnesses said the UFO looked like as evidence. Okay. Oh my God, I'm questioning my faith. This is me questioning my faith. The FBI released a photoshopped photo.
Oh no!
I just think it's fake. Fake and lame. Very fake and lame. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, there's what, like 10 photos? Is that, I mean, that's what they gave us? 10 photos around there. I'm guesstimating. 99% of them look like they were taken with a BlackBerry Curve.
Yeah.
And then one of them is literally an admitted Photoshop from the FBI.
I feel like people can make them look better in Microsoft Paint.
Like, honestly, is this what's supposed to make me believe that we're not alone? I was expecting more.
Sad day.
I think, if we're going to deal with this, can we talk about real news, like the kamikaze dolphins in the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah.
You know? Can we do something else? None of this sells me on aliens. None of it. I thought we were supposed to have some earth-shattering news. I thought this was going to push us to a one-world government. I thought this was going to make me question my faith. Here's a Photoshop from the FBI. Cool. Really did a number on me. Let's go to Dave in Smyrna. What's up, Dave?
What's up, man? It's your favorite Hebrew.
What's up, brother? You doing good?
I'm good. I know what they are. They're flying matzo balls.
They have to be. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It's Israel. I'm just kidding.
Yes, it's Israel. Israel's doing it again.
Yep, it's the deadly flying matzo balls. No, to be honest, like, I'm with you with this latest round of docu-dump. It's underwhelming to say the least, but some of the most compelling stuff that I personally have heard is, so I don't know if you remember back when Iraq was going on, PBS did a documentary where they were on board Nimitz for pretty much an entire cruise. And so one of the guys who was on Nimitz, he was a Hornet driver, and I'm pretty sure at the time he was either the XO or the CO of the squadron. So fast forward a few years later, when you remember when the government released the video of what they called the Tic Tacs, and it was from the HUDs of F-18s. One of the guys that was flying one of those Hornets was this guy from the documentary. By this point, he was the squadron CO. And so when they're talking to these Hornet drivers, they're like, these things were doing stuff that if they were manned, whoever would have been in them would have been dead.
Yeah.
There's no way that no human technology can do stuff like that. It's just not possible.
But that's assuming that they're manned.
Well, even if they're not, the way that these things are moving, there's no, what these guys are saying as jet pilots is there's no technology we own that can accelerate, decelerate, and move that way.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of inclined to believe those dudes. And again, this is not to say that I think little green men are coming tomorrow, but that was a pretty compelling statement, especially when you consider that naval aviators aren't only in certain matters are they prone to over exaggeration, and flight characteristics aren't one of those things. Those guys they're engineers basically. And then there was a video that I watched a few years ago where Sean Ryan interviewed a guy who he was part of a Marine unit doing, I think it was disaster relief after some major hurricane in the Indian Ocean area, and his unit was engaged by people because they came across something hovering in the jungle, and they engaged these got these guys at gunpoint and stripped their weapons, took their IDs, and he said he had taken pictures of it on a camera as they were walking down towards it, and he said the next time they were in port, that camera was gone. They were all told, you guys are lucky that we didn't smoke you. So like stuff like that I've seen and heard leads me to believe that there's is it aliens? Is it alien technology?
So, but like all of this stuff,
possible.
though. I mean, I guess it's possible. It's also possible that it is military tech that people don't have the top secret clearance to even
The
know about.
compartmented access to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and how they compartmentalize that stuff. It wouldn't shock me that an engineer wouldn't be privy to information that would be of the highest security clearances of the U.S. military industrial complex. But then there's other stories. There's other stories out there from the military. Like, do you ever hear about the giant of Kandahar from Afghanistan, 2002?
Yes,
where like
I have heard of that.
people are like, that's proof of the Nephilim, where like this giant had 6 fingers, 6 toes, fiery red hair. He was like, how tall was he? He was like allegedly
like every time
12 to 15 feet tall, and Green Berets had to engage this guy.
Every time I've heard the story of that, it's never from, there's enough of that quote unquote vet bro space out there on YouTube and whatever that, I've never heard a single guy say, I was there, I saw that. But to hear the compelling evidence for me was at least to hear those Hornet drivers talk. I was like, there's more to this than what is just on the surface. Now, whether it is truly otherworldly or whether it's DARPA type stuff, I don't know, but that Tic Tac video to me was the most compelling evidence. And I'll just take it one step further. The only other reason that I believe that we're not alone is I just think it's preposterous to think in the infiniteness of the universe that we are the only ones.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But when they're breaking this down beforehand, they're like, it's going to make you question your faith. We're getting secret. There's secret meetings of
the letdown.
There's secret meetings of pastors because, oh my gosh, your flock. You're going to need to tend to your flock. And then literally the release is, this is an FBI rendered lab image. It's like, you gave me Photoshop. That your evidence is Photoshop.
This is the biggest womp 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 I've seen in a long time.
I'm with you 100%. And like, to be perfectly honest, Dave, like, I kind of want to believe, like, give me something that will blow my mind, because in 2026, I feel like that happens less and less and less. Like, give me something that is going to make me just absolutely be like stunned and amazed and shocked. And then they're like, here's a photoshopped image of a UFO. How about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when you have the time, obviously later on, look up the video and the interview of that Hornet driver who talked about this thing. I think it was 2 of these guys, but the one guy I remember specifically because he was in that documentary. But look it up and listen to these guys explain how this thing flew, and I mean it's pretty freaking compelling.
All right, I'll check it out. I appreciate the call, Dave, as always. Let's go to Bill in Nashville. He has a comment on UFOs. What's up?
Good morning. I hope you're doing well. All the discussions, I mean, there's plenty of evidence both ways, but one of my favorite comments I think about whenever the discussion of UFOs comes up is one time when we were kids. I was a big family. All us kids are sitting around the kitchen table, and we're talking about UFOs. Are there any UFOs? What would you do if one came? Yada, yada, yada. And our mom is listening to us. And after about 15, 20 minutes of our discussion, my mom just walked over and said, look, you guys, any civilization that is brilliant enough to get from where they are to where we are is also brilliant enough to know that we're really not worth the trip.
Yeah. Very true. It reminds me of the South Park episode where actually Earth was just a reality show for aliens. This week on Earth, Iran's trying to get a nuclear weapon, but the United States says no. Tune in next week. Caleb in Nashville, what's up?
Hey, Chris, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I just want to say, God Almighty, I believe is real, but if you look at the Old Testament, and I think that you're the ultimate believer because you have, put your whole life around faith. And so you believe in things that we cannot see and we cannot ultimately explain, but yet you believe. And so the pillar of fire, manna from heaven, the Ark of the Covenant. There's all kinds of things in the Old Testament that point to things we don't understand, the entire Bible itself. And I think that one and the other can also be true. That, just to kind of go, I don't believe in Darwin, but I believe in evolution through creation because it's in front of us. And so I just, maybe get your take on that.
I mean, I don't know. Has there been past civilizations that were more advanced than us? Like, when the Tower of Babylon fell and everybody got split all over the world and they spoke different languages, like how advanced was that civilization? I mean, I think that there's some serious questions there. There's some stuff in the hieroglyphics that you can point to and be like, look, there's evidence that people saw this back then. I mean, you can look at old paintings from I think it was like Leonardo da Vinci, and if you look in the background, it looks like there's UFOs. And I mean, there's all sorts of fascinating things. I don't necessarily think that means that there's aliens. I don't know.
Well, and I agree, and so I'm not claiming to know, but I also want to come at it with an open mind, and I don't think that we need to disregard our faith or anything like that. I think that one and the other could be true, together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to walk away from my faith. Like I said earlier, it's going to make me faith harder.
Of course not, and I don't think that I don't think that we have to. I think that maybe, there could have been throughout history. There could have been. Man doesn't always have the best intentions. I don't think we should take everything at face value today or in history. I think that maybe there's some room for a step back and some reevaluation of everything. And it could, and God Almighty always.
Yeah, I hear you, and I appreciate the call, Caleb. Thank you so much. Let's go to Tim in Brentwood. What's up, Tim?
Hey, good morning, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, my granddaddy from Ardmore, Tennessee, he passed away a few years ago, and he was telling me back in the 70s, preacher from Elton, Tennessee, Ardmore, and several other preachers from around the country in the 70s went to Washington, came back a week later, and he said when his preacher came back, and this is 4 or 5 years ago, he told me before he died, that my preacher said, Adam, he said, when he got back from Washington, he said if people knew about what was going on in the world back then, he said it would be chaotic. And I just want to know if you could, I just want to give you that information because it relates to today, how they're talking about pastors meeting up and talking about what's going on. Well, this has been an ongoing thing for years, not talked about. Just want to give you that advice, sir.
So, I mean, what was he alluding to? That they told him about aliens?
No, he didn't tell me aliens. He did not give me any specific information. He just told my granddaddy that, hey, man, he said what he saw, he said people knew what was going on in the world today in the public, it would be chaotic. And I just thought that I heard about all these, everything going on social media with the aliens. And, I'm big on the Nephilim and the book of Enoch. So hearing all this, rung a bell with me. I was like, I got to call right now and tell Chris this. Like, this is what my granddad said years ago, and it correlates with what's going on today. So it just, I just want to give you that advice and see if you could plug it in somehow.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I appreciate it. The Book of Enoch is interesting. I don't necessarily know if it's biblical. I'm not like the theologian expert here, and I've never claimed to be. It's all fascinating, but the drop that we got that was supposed to be earth-shattering this morning, completely underwhelming. I think that's the spoiler alert here. One piece of evidence, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, it's up on the screen right now. It says actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitness reports from September of 2023. They gave us photoshopped pictures as evidence. And that's on war.gov/UFO. 953 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Up ahead, President Trump is calling it a huge win for the Republican Party and for America. What just happened in the Virginia Supreme Court? It's coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom in Jonestown. My name is Chris Hand, coming to you live from 10 Music Circle East. We're down by the Naked Statues. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us as well on YouTube or Rumble. Rep Tim Burchett on X a little under an hour ago. Remember, the feds told us these files didn't exist, and Donald Trump stood up to the deep state. The first drop will be big, but in comparison to what is coming, they will be a drop in the bucket. I would say holy crap is coming. This is in reference to the UFO files. I like Tim Burchett a lot. I really do. Respect the heck out of him. I think he's one of the best congressmen that we have in the state, if not the best. But in the drop today, we got photoshopped photos. So underwhelmed at best. I'll wait. I'll stay reserved. I'll be looking forward to the holy crap moment. On the way, we'll talk about a holy crap moment that already took place, which was yesterday in the Tennessee Capitol. Governor Bill Lee has officially signed that 9-0 2026 congressional map, and it's because the Supreme Court outlawed racial gerrymandering. This is huge. But the reaction from the leftists, oh my gosh, chef kiss. If you like salt mining, we're going to do it together when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 10 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And the Virginia Supreme Court has just ruled that the process to redraw the state's congressional lines is unconstitutional. Shannon Bream at Fox News tells us the Virginia court also said the referendum is void.
And for that reason, they say the congressional district maps issued by the court in 2021, the old maps are the ones that they've got to use for the upcoming congressional election. Now, it's not out of the realm of possibility that challengers to this decision would try to find some federal hook for it, to try to get to the Supreme Court to say that there is some U.S. constitutional violation in the way that this ruling was made. It's a very tough ask, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do it, because what have you got to lose at this point?
Democrats aim to get a 10-1 map that favored them. Instead, they'll go back to that 6 Democrat districts and 5 Republican districts map. Meantime, in Tennessee, new maps are taking effect that strip out the only Democrat congressional district. It angered Nashville's vice mayor so much. Angie Henderson opened last night's council meeting like this.
Welcome, council and community members, on what is a dark day for democracy and voting rights in Tennessee.
Some lawmakers are calling for charges to be brought against State Representative Justin Pearson for his verbal assault on a state trooper. But that's not going to be in the cards, according to State Representative Johnny Garrett, even if Pearson and Afton Bain did commit crimes.
He would have disobeyed a lawful order by a police officer. There, you could arrest him there, or anybody in the gallery that disobeys a lawful order from a police officer. You can be arrested. But here's the bottom line. That's what they want. Yeah, I know. Right? That they want the video of them getting arrested because they're the martyr.
Garrett earlier this morning with Dan on Nashville's Morning News. And now South Carolina lawmakers are pushing to redraw their districts held by Democrat Congressman James Clyburn to turn it red. Pamela Yvette is the South Carolina Lieutenant Governor.
It's about doing the right thing. South Carolina is a ruby red state. I believe that any way we draw the maps, that will show through.
The South Carolina House has already approved that new map. The Senate will take it up for a vote next, and that could happen today. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Ayes 25, nays 5.
House Bill 7003, 7003, having received a constitutional majority, I declare it passed.
That was the call of the game yesterday, and it got spicy immediately following that. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Side note before we get to the news, we're driving in the car yesterday. I forget where we were going. Oh, Kennedy had a music recital, which she did awesome at, by the way. But my 4-year-old Millie is in the back, and Ken Weaver does the traffic report, and he does the "I'm Ken Weaver," and she goes, literally, my 4-year-old's in the back seat. She goes, "Oh my gosh, we know."
That's such a good response.
And I looked at her. I was like, "What did you just say?" She's like, "He always says that. We know he's Ken Weaver." and I said, "But Millie, I always start my breaks. I let everybody know I'm Chris Hand." She goes, "I know, Dad, and we know that too." Okay, all right. The little 4-year-old air check session back there. So now every time I'm doing that and I introduce myself, I'm like, sorry.
Everybody knows.
I apologize. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but I reminded myself because it was hilarious. She's like, she face palmed. She's like, "Oh my gosh, we know." What are you talking about back there? Dad, we know he's Ken Weaver. We know. Okay, all right, chill. I'll let Paul Mason know. I'll tell the PD. All right, this is getting a little repetitive up in here. So gotta love these kids. Kids say the darndest.
She's in the I know phase.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, got it.
Millie, it's time to brush your teeth. I know.
It's not even like yeah, we know. It's a I know. I know. What do you tell me something new? Just get to what's happening on 24. It's gridlocked. I know. We all know. Traffic is off. They're doing pothole repair in the middle of the day? I know.
There's aliens. I know.
I know. The Democrats are losing their mind over losing their racially based maps. I know. What else is new? I know, Dad. We all know. Love the little ones, and appreciate you guys listening. Even though I introduce myself far too often, we all say our names. Even though you know, you can listen anywhere. I know you know, but it's on all the apps, the FM dial. Hit us up on YouTube and Rumble as well, and hit subscribe. We appreciate you doing so. I would tell you why, but you know. So Governor Bill Lee has officially signed in that 9 Republican, 0 Democrat map. What happened after was just chaotic, and I'm a bit of a chaos man. In fact, I don't know. I like politics getting crazy. I'm entertained by this stuff, and yesterday was a very entertaining day. We were all sitting down, myself, Mandis, Murphy. We were recording the Mostly Peaceful podcast as all of this was breaking in real time. And it was a good chuckle. We all really enjoyed it. But this is what it looked like as angry leftists stormed the Capitol after the 2026 redistricting 100% passed both the House and the Senate.
So you can see exactly what is happening here right now. Everybody has got their phones out trying to document this historic moment as senators are being escorted out of the chamber again. Just a few minutes ago, the bill has passed, this redistricting bill to reshape and redraw Tennessee's congressional map has passed. Now, I want to talk you through a little bit more of what I've heard today from some of the people who have been out here, and then what some of these lawmakers have been saying within their chambers. Now, several of the people out here say that this redistricting really eliminates black and minority voices in a community that has already historically been marginalized, specifically when it comes to voting and in other ways as well. They have told me that they are all gathered here today trying to make a difference.
I know. We all want to make a difference. Everybody wants to make a difference. The evil Republicans are racist and dastardly and radical. I know. You're so upset. I know. Suck it, losers. This is what's happening. And I love the fact that we're finally seeing some fight out of Republicans. I do think that a lot of this is ripple effect from what happened in Indiana, where Donald Trump went after the state senators that didn't want to redistrict. People claim that that's Donald Trump's victory. I made the arguments that's the people's victory, because the people are tired of weak and ineffective Republicans. Imagine if we brought that same energy to Senate Republicans that didn't want to nuke the filibuster. Oh, it would be awesome. I know. I wish we could see it. But this is all clear racism. I mean, can you imagine the absolute racism it took to gerrymander an old white man out of that seat in Memphis? These racists, how could they? Fun fact, there's a woman named Charlotte Bergman. She is a black woman. Not that matters, but she's a conservative. And she had been running for Congress in the Tennessee 9th again and again and again. She ran in, I believe it was 16 and then 22. She is, 20 and 16. She is somebody that you would think could represent the black community. She's black, right? That's what they keep telling us. You can't be represented unless you check all the same identity boxes. Weird. I don't think that that's the case. In fact, there are many white people that are represented in Florida by Byron Donaldson. Nobody seems to have any issue with the color of his skin not matching theirs. It's more about the content of their character. Who said that? I don't know. Maybe I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. Lydia Moynihan last night on CNN, she said, if this is so racist, why are they about to elect a black woman in the district that Cohen was just gerrymandered out of?
A little ironic that the woman now who is likely going to win the 9th district in Tennessee is a black Republican woman as a result of this redistricting effort. It's likely going to be a black Republican woman who beats that old white man.
Could I make this very simple?
But that's racist?
The other lady on the panel said, yeah, it is. I don't know if Charlotte Bergman's running. I know Brent Taylor had announced that he's running. Charlotte Bergman touts pulling herself out of poverty to attain the American dream and her Christian faith as the foundation of her politics. You can understand why that doesn't exactly mesh with Democrat ideals. But she had a campaign website a couple of years back. It's still active. I reached out to her to see if she was running because I haven't seen any official announcements from her. But on her campaign website previously, it said, I believe we Americans deserve secure and better jobs, stronger security, solid education that will allow us to live rewarding lives. And those lives can and must be lived in peaceful communities. Criminals can no longer be allowed to run the city. I'm not just a congressional candidate for Tennessee. I'm America's candidate. When I reach the halls of Congress, I'll hit the ground running, keep in close contact with the people who elected me and doing their will while following the Constitution. She seems pretty based. I'm not going to lie to you. She is proud that she experienced homelessness, refused to rely on government subsidies. She said through hard work, she's now able to sign checks for the employees of her own small business. I don't know if she's running. Lydia Moynihan might have a bit more inside track than I do, but she seemed pretty confident that that's who's going to be running for that seat and then winning that seat. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. The only one that I've heard officially was Brent Taylor. Yesterday, though, at the Capitol, Todd Warner might have had one of the most based moves of all time. He came in, he was wearing a cape. The cape was a Trump 2024 flag, and it said, "No more BS." Racist.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
Everybody loved it. A lot of fans. He was making a lot of friends, and all the protesters seemed very, very happy about it. That was Representative Todd Warner. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you saw him. You saw the video. He's walking through, looking like Batman with the cape on. I'm a big fan. I like a little bit of trolling. I'm here for a little bit of trolling. I'm here for the chaos. Elsewhere, a woman by the name of Aju Mason. She is a conservative black woman. Not that it matters. But she's in Texas politics, and she was talking about how these individuals like Justin Pearson are accusing us of white supremacy, and she's having none of it.
Dignified as well than what he did out there in the hallways with that state trooper.
You know, this discount Malcolm
Luther the King. I mean, he needs to go somewhere and sit down, frankly. You know, this performative campaign ad speech, I mean, it's so embarrassing, and especially for someone, you know, a person of color, as the left would say. I mean, this does not represent the black community. It's performative. It is a political stunt, and frankly, again, we're not sending our best to Congress.
No, and she's talking about Justin Pearson just acting like an absolute loon while his brother was being arrested for acting like an absolute loon, getting in the face of a police officer, screaming at him, calling him a pig, calling him a stupid mother effer, screaming, boy. Imagine if the races were reversed, the absolute, or just the roles. I mean, imagine if it was the white cop screaming that at Justin Pearson. Imagine the hand-wringing and pearl-clutching from the left today. But Justin Pearson's allowed to get away with it because he has the best afro in politics.
Or to the state.
Boy! What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Pig.
You hear the lady. Pig. The cop did nothing wrong at all. Justin Pearson is an unhinged lunatic. So yesterday, I sent him a tweet. I tweeted to him, and I said, "You're welcome on my show anytime." I called his office, and I left a nice voicemail. I wasn't rude. I was like, "Hey, Justin, would love to have you on the show." I've yet to hear back, so I'll keep you updated if we do hear anything. Justin Pearson has an open invitation on the show. So do any of those losers, to be perfectly honest with you, from Glow Joe to Justin Jones. Justin Jones didn't want to be outdone by Justin Pearson yesterday, so he printed a Confederate flag, printed it, and then he lit it on fire inside a building. Really, really showed us. I didn't think we were doing anything wrong until I saw that, and then I was like, oh my gosh, is this what this has come to? I couldn't sleep last night. I just had images of that, and I was like, oh no, are we the baddies? No. This woman, though, from Texas, this conservative black woman, Ajua Mason, they stretched this out into a panel discussion on Will Cain yesterday, and there's a liberal on the panel, and he's really gassing up the actions by Justin Pearson, saying what we're seeing is a strong black man, and he's just fighting to keep the only black district in the state from being erased. Which is, I mean, it's hilarious because that's exactly what the Supreme Court said is unconstitutional. You're not allowed to draw these lines based on race. We're past that now. But the absolute backhand and knockout punch from Ajua Mason is something to be seen.
Okay. And we discounted that statement, and now here we are seeing a black man in Tennessee fight to keep the only black district that they have there being totally erased off the map. And I just think, you know, there needs to be more, those conversations need to be tied together.
There's no such thing as a black district or a white district. It's an American district.
Thank you. I'm a kid from the 90s. Like, we were raised, you know, as much as we could be in this colorblind society. And to hear this kind of language in 2026, it's like, what are we doing?
That was weird.
It is. It's stupid. It's totally stupid. Ron in Nashville wants to talk about state maps. What's up, Ron?
Hey, thanks for taking my call there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm going good. Hey, my question is, if we are considered a republic, because I had to sit back and, you know, Google some of this, why are we not being totally represented, whether if we like their opinion or not? That's what I'm just trying to understand. Why was it such a big deal to make the whole state red and not have complete, total representation of its people, whether they're black, white, or whatever, that doesn't matter. But to have we have two parties, Democratic and Republic.
Yeah.
But now we're just all Republic. So is that true total representation of our state and of our nation if it's only a one-sided political view, no matter if it's Republican, Democrat, Communist, or whatever?
I mean, I would just say that the Supreme Court decision, Louisiana versus Calais, said you're not allowed to draw maps based on race. That map was clearly drawn based on race. And yeah, it's a political move. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. The Republicans are in power in this state, and there's a redistricting war going on, and it's happening everywhere. You know, they tried to make a map 11-0 in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That was 6-5, and it was actually one of the most fair maps in the entire country because the breakdown is 60-40 Democrats to Republicans, maybe a little bit less, you know, depending on the election cycle, right? And they tried to make that 11-0. And you have states like Massachusetts, where I'm from, I grew up there, you know, states like 40-45% Republican, 0 Republican representatives. You have states like New Hampshire, which I think you could argue is even more than 50% Republican, 0 Republican representatives. I mean, so are we, I'd be open to it. Can we force these other states to have Republican representatives if we're going to force Tennessee to have Democrat representatives?
I think that should be the real issue, to where every state is represented by, if we have 2 parties, there should be some type of representation out of each state for both parties to make everything fair and equal, whether there's more Republicans or Democrats or vice versa.
I wouldn't be against that. I would just say, why is it on us to play by the rules when the Democrats don't?
Somebody's got to stand up and be the bigger person. I mean, because we do say that we are a Christian nation. I hear God and Christian come from both sides. So are we just talking the talk and not living the true philosophy?
Well, if we're hearing the Christian faith come from both sides, I would argue that one side is talking the talk while the other side is walking the walk, because one side is great with abortion almost up until the time, or even after birth, if you look at some of these comments from these lawmakers. And then that same side is also okay with the mutilation of minors, letting them chop off perfectly good body parts at very young ages, jump on hormone blockers. I do think that we're in a huge battle right here. And I think it's good versus evil. And one party supports that kind of stuff, and one party does not. So if both sides are saying that they believe in God and they're Christians and they have this faith, I would just say, who's telling the truth?
Well, the way it looks, neither side is telling the total truth, because there's got to be representation. You can't have good without evil and bad. But back to the point. In this country, we do need representation of both sides, since we only have 2 parties, Democratic and Republican.
Well,
because if it's one-sided, that just doesn't seem like a republic.
Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, there's Democrat states and Democrat representation all over the country. What party are you a member of? Not that, I mean, I'm just curious. You do sound like you side with the Democrats.
No, I'm no party of neither one of them.
Okay, well, which one more closely aligns with what you like?
You know, I've never thought of it that way, because I really don't care for Democrats or Republicans when it comes to those philosophies, because, I just don't care for that, because really I believe it don't become a party on both sides of the have and the have-nots, and they're just putting a label on who they are and everything.
So did you vote in the last election cycle?
For president, or here just last Tuesday for the local elections?
I was talking more the national. So yeah, 2024 November. Did you vote?
No.
You didn't vote?
Nope.
So what do you care anyway?
Because I didn't care. Well, I care because I care for the people and everything. But that's my philosophy.
But if you care for the people, you can't weigh 2 candidates and decide which one is probably a more net positive than the other. Because we're making good the enemy of perfect sometimes. Like, I don't care who you vote for. I think you should vote.
Yeah. Well, with the way it is now, if I voted, say like right now, if I wanted to vote and I wanted to vote Democrat,
yeah,
my vote wouldn't matter here in the state of Tennessee because it's all a red state now.
Okay. My dad lives in New Hampshire. He's a Republican. Does his vote not matter because there's 0 Republican representatives there?
Man, what your dad does is between you and your family. You was talking about me. So let's keep it right here.
But I'm just saying like that it's the same thing.
And then a prime example on that, say like if I did vote Republican, then that don't mean that I necessarily agree with everything you all say, because you just brought up that abortion. But the other day, there was some guy running for sheriff down in Rutherford County, and you blasted him just because he had his own thought, and he was a Republican.
No. So you're crossing lines there. It was a county commissioner, and he said he was running as an independent. And I believe that was Robertson. We had a ton of candidates on that day, so I don't even blame you for confusing it. I did have sheriff candidates on from Rutherford County, but the guy that said he said he was an independent, and then his views on abortion were very Democratic. And I was of the opinion, he said he leaned more Republican. I was of the opinion that he's only running as an independent because he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he knows he's not going to get elected as a Democrat.
Right, but you take that same analogy you're saying. In your house, if you're married, so your wife 100% agrees with everything you say, and everything is your way, and she has no opinion about any rules or anything going on in your house.
No, that's not the case at all. I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time.
Okay, well, that's the same explanation and everything. How can you could be part of a party and you don't agree with them, but now if you wanted to not agree with a party here in the state, or you brought your dad into it up there, your dad has no representation. Democrats have no representation here. I just don't.
But my point is, and I can understand where you're coming from. But my point is that the Democrats started this, and you want Republicans to take the high road, and we're in a battle for the nation here. Like the time for the high road has passed. The time to win and fight is now.
Once again, that goes back to if we are a Christian nation, like we say, did Jesus and God teach us to take pride and say no, we're not going to take it?
Jesus said, if you're going to harm one of these little children, you're better off having a millstone around your neck and being thrown into a lake. And there's one party that is totally okay with the mutilation of minors. So, I mean, if we're going to bring Jesus into this, I don't know. I don't think he's going to agree with everything 100% on the Republican side of the aisle, but I think that there's obviously a better choice and a worse choice in that situation. Ron, listen, I don't know if we see eye to eye on everything, but I do really value your opinion, and I appreciate the call. It's 1028. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Handy here for Parker's Safe. Sorry, Mason was like, just read Parker's because I went way over, and I apologize, Mason.
You're just fine.
Let me tell you about my friend Aaron Parker while we have a minute. If you need a safe, you should go down to Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. You see, they are a local, veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. Let's be honest, a lot of us want a safe, but we've been putting it off because we got to figure out which one to get, where to put it, how to get it installed, and this is exactly what Aaron and his sons take care of. They'll help you choose the best safe for your needs, your budget, offer advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully install it. They actually have a video review of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube. And Aaron told me that they have a ton of great deals going on right now with some incredible safes in stock from American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call Aaron Parker today. You'll be glad you did. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Mention Chris Hand and get a free pistol safe while supplies last. ParkerSafes.com.
Good morning. It's now 10:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And among the top stories of the day, the Virginia Supreme Court ruling that the process to redraw the state's congressional lines there is unconstitutional. Shannon Bream at Fox News tells us the court also said the referendum has been voided.
For that reason, they say the congressional district maps issued by the court in 2021, the old maps are the ones that they've got to use for the upcoming congressional election. Now, it's not out of the realm of possibility that challengers to this decision would try to find some federal hook for it, to try to get to the Supreme Court to say that there is some U.S. constitutional violation in the way that this ruling was made. It's a very tough ask, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do it, because what have you got to lose at this point?
Now, Democrats aimed to get a 10-1 map that favored them. Instead, they'll go back to that 6 Democrat districts and 5 Republican districts map. An update on the so-called hantavirus ship, which is now on its way to the Canary Islands, where Spanish health officials are preparing for isolated evacuations.
One of the passengers aboard the ship, currently on its way to Spain, telling ABC News everyone is maintaining high spirits, saying it doesn't feel different than any of the other sea days we had before. People are smiling and taking the situation calmly, adding, "We now have specialists on board. No one currently has any hunter-related symptoms, and everyone is wearing masks, especially when inside the ship, and keeping a safe distance."
That's ABC's Victor Akendo. And kudos to the good people of Tennessee. Smart Asset has just named the volunteer state the 17th most friendly state in the U.S. Now, the study analyzed the 50 states by the number of minutes per day that residents spend on socializing, volunteering, and helping others. Montana, Utah, and Wyoming were the top 3 friendliest. You may not be surprised to hear that California was the least friendly state in this survey. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I know. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. You can call in with your voice, your opinion. Let's have a conversation. 615-737-9986. We got Adam in the Borough texting in. He's a liberal. But that's cool. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I do like good conversations. He said, this is if you think the Virginia map was fair because it represented pretty accurately the proportion of votes, do you think the Tennessee map is unfair since 1/3 of Tennessee vote Democratic? No, I don't at all. I'm here for it. I like the fight. You know why I don't think it's unfair? Because what was done in Louisiana and in Tennessee is a direct response to the gerrymandering that we have seen from the Democrats. Remember when Hakeem Jeffries said this?
Maximum warfare everywhere, all the time, in connection with the redistricting battle that Republicans launched. I stand by it.
So Democrats are allowed maximum warfare all the time. Republicans, you have to sit on your hands and follow the rules, bigot. Is that that's what we're being told? No. Western Lensman posted this clip on X, and he said, maximum warfare, hitting a little snag. It's hitting a little snag. Yeah, it is. And they're flailing. They're flailing. They're losing their minds. The Supreme Court of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, they just brought down a ruling. And Gavin Newsom reacting on X saying, no vote in Tennessee, +1 GOP. No vote in Florida, +4 GOP. No vote in Missouri, +1 GOP. No vote in North Carolina, +2 GOP. No vote in Texas, +5 GOP. Virginia's voter-approved maps thrown out. MAGA has rigged the system. I'm sorry. Did you think that maximum warfare was only going to be done by your side and not ours? Got it.
That we're just getting in from the Commonwealth of Virginia. This could have big implications for other states and clearly for the midterms. And there's a reaction now for Republicans in Virginia saying the following: we respect the decision of the Supreme Court of Virginia. I'm proud Virginians came out in historic numbers. Got it, made their voices heard and sent a message not just here at home but across the country to Donald Trump and his administration. That's the reaction from the Democrats. The problem is,
how'd they get that?
Yeah, for Democrats,
how'd they get that out of
they've been shut out of the program here because they thought they were going to pick up several seats. Republicans are saying the Supreme Court today affirms what we all know: you cannot violate the Constitution to change the Constitution, which was what Shannon Bream was describing.
So how long has Donald Trump been on the Commonwealth of Virginia's Supreme Court? I'm curious. Is this also Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump in the room with you right now? I don't know. 615-737-9986. Adam in the Borough said, thanks for responding to that, Chris. Adam, listen, you're welcome to call in anytime you want. I like having conversations. We don't have to have arguments. We can have conversations. Let's go to Tony in Nashville. What's up, Tony?
How you doing, guys? Doing all right?
Tony, you are you're one of my favorite callers on the entire radio station. And in fact, I heard you the other day talking to Matt Murphy, and I literally sat in my car in the driveway to hear you, not Murphy. What do you got, man? How are you?
I do pretty good. Plus, my wife liked me again today.
Oh man, it's awesome. What are you thinking about as you're seeing all this go down with the gerrymandering?
Well, they're talking about warfare. We are just fighting the war differently. They're fighting the war with lies and deceit and deception. We're fighting the war with truth. The most dangerous thing on the face of the earth, bar none, is the truth. And the man that called and inserted God, look, man, I'm enjoying watching God do what he's doing. Because this stuff wouldn't happen if God hadn't intervened.
But Tony, I'm being told that encouraging this kind of stuff makes me an evil, racist bigot.
Well, look, the devil that's the way the devil fights. And when you say it made one thing clear, say it, people don't understand. This is a war between good and evil. For instance, how do you support somebody to try to convince you that a man can have a baby.
Amen.
How? And then they see. All you have to do is look at what their platform is and match it up with God. Does God go along with killing babies? No. See, a lot of us in this country is going to have to pay the price for God for killing these babies. How many Hebrew babies did the Egyptians kill?
Yep.
Oh, man, they killed thousands. But here's the question. Did God get even with them? Yeah, he did. He the 10th plague, he killed all the firstborn of every Egyptian family. And the difference in that is that the Hebrew babies, when they killed those little babies, they went right back where they come from because they were sinless. But all the firstborn of Egypt, none of those belonged to God. Not only did they die here, but they died on the other side. These people, they tell you that they don't believe in God. They show you that they don't believe in God. Now, is Republicans perfect? No, not at all.
Yep, you're right.
But their platform is way closer to God than the Democrats, and anybody that got in his sense can see that.
You're absolutely right. But listen, man, they'll say that black voters are not represented anymore, and that we need these districts, and black voters in Memphis need to be represented by an old white man in order to have their votes even count.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Hey, I ain't never had no problem voting. And for who I wanted to vote for. Never have. See? And see, the thing of it is, a man once said, and I'll go back in the past again, and he got killed for this. His people killed him for it. He said, I'm for justice, no matter who administers it. He said, I'm for truth, no matter who says. Who you think said that?
Martin Luther King?
No, not at all. Malcolm X said that.
Malcolm. The other day you brought up Malcolm X too with the white liberal quote, and I played it on the air. Right. I hope you heard that.
Oh yeah, I heard it. And see, and what's happening is like I said, they play to folks' emotions, and I got something. And look here, please don't take this the wrong way, please. Anybody out there, don't, because I ain't got nothing against nobody. But here's an old white lady out there talking about me and have never even lived around me, don't know me. So how you going to represent me like that? Now, we teach our kids all the time they was growing up. If you put a color on love, you will never, ever find it. Why? Because to define love, God is love. What color is it? He's a spirit. So God can come to you in a white man, a black man, a Puerto Rican, whatever he chooses. You just have to have enough intelligence to know how to recognize God when you see him. If you put a color on hate, you will be deceived every single time. Why? Because Satan is a spirit. While you sitting there looking out for the blue-eyed devil, Satan walk up to you in a black man's body and cut your head off.
You're not lying, Tony.
Now people say they know something about God and they mention his name, but that's all they do. But these people, they are demonic. Always have been. So I hope they change. I do. I hope every man change and come to repentance.
Me and you both.
In the Democrat Party, these people are just demonic.
So
and you can see it.
Tony, I mean, you're in your 70s. You're a black man. You lived your whole life in Tennessee. You've seen some things. When you see Justin Pearson screaming about white supremacy yesterday and getting in the face of police officers, screaming at them, yelling at them, calling them boy, Do you think that he's out there fighting for black voters, or is this performative?
No. See, Democrats, this is one thing they're not mentioning. And Elon Musk cut their throat. How did he cut their throat? He went through all these government programs that the Democrats have set up, and they use them as shell companies to pass that money around back into their pockets. Why are they not raising a whole lot of money now? It's because they don't have the slush funds. They don't have the Department of Education. Why do you think they were so hard about that? They raised so much cane about it. It's because they use these things, the educational department. They use Social Security, all of these things. I remember when a person retired and got Medicare and got their Social Security, they didn't have to pay for Medicare out of their Social Security. They didn't have to pay for their medicine. Now these people we get Social Security, and they gotta pay for everything out of their check, and then they don't have nothing left. It didn't used to be that way. All you got to do is go back to check. Now, man, they done, look here, Democrats done skimmed off the top of the taxpayers' money so much, just like they're in Minnesota.
Yep.
You don't think the Democratic politicians there didn't fatten their pockets with all that money?
No, but Tony, that was an accounting error. Ilhan Omar's worth only went from a few thousand to 30 million and then back to a few. It was an accounting error. You know, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Was, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Hey, Tony. Hey, man, we're up against it. Listen, I want you to come in one day and just co-host the whole show with me. All right. We
I
got.
don't know if I could do that.
I bet, Tony. I bet you could host one on your own. I think I'm nervous about that. I wouldn't let you do that because you take my job in a heartbeat. But I want you to come in one day and just sit in here with me for the whole 3 hours because I love the stories, man, and I love it every time you call in, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's Tony. I kind of cut him off a little bit early there. My fault, Tony. I thought we were done, but I do respect you, man, and I love the calls. We'll take some more of your calls on the way. Scott Sepiki is on his way in here. He's going to talk about the chaos that he witnessed at the Tennessee State Capitol firsthand yesterday. Scott Sepiki, I don't know if you know this, massive man. Just like, not a guy I'd want to fist fight. Just not. And he said for the first time yesterday, he felt threatened in the state capitol, which to me, that was a pretty big statement. We'll talk to Scott on the way. He's on his way in here. That's coming up, and we'll take more of your phone calls as well. If you got anything you want to ask Scott Sepiki, you're welcome to join the conversation. 615-737-9986. It's 10:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. I talk about these guys all the time. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee, and these guys are the absolute best. Let's be honest. A lot of us want a safe, but we don't really know where to begin. I mean, what safe do I get? Where do I put it? How do I install it? You name it. There's a lot of questions, right? But Aaron and his boys, that's what they take care of. You see, they offer all of the advice you need. They'll help you choose the best safe for your needs and budget. They'll tell you the best place to put it, and they'll carefully install it themselves. These guys are absolute pros. You can find a video review of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube. From there, talk to Aaron, talk to his boys. They got some great deals going on right now. Plenty of safes in stock. These aren't the average big box store cabinets. These are quality safes from brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. They're not going to be able to be tipped over and pried open by a teenager. No, it's not the scenario at all when you're dealing with Parker Safes and Vaults. Don't put it off any longer. Call Aaron today. You'll be glad you did. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. It's Parker Safes and Vaults. You can find them online, parkersafes.com.
The Pentagon has released the first set of complete UFO files, and all ears and eyes on Chancery Court here in Nashville, where a lawsuit has been filed to try to block the new congressional map. That story and more at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand, 57 minutes past the hour. Ken, who won Nincompoops yesterday? What's the score on the week?
I don't know, brother. It was tied at 1-1-1 before yesterday, but I have not heard who won.
Was there a water main break?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, my kids are so upset. I told them, because I said today's the day we gotta bring the trophy back to Matt Murphy.
Jackson is convinced that he's not ever getting that trophy back.
Well, Jackson won't. There's some truth in that. I have too much faith in you and Matt. I feel like you guys will handle that.
I don't know, man. It's getting hard to mine these stories.
Yeah.
People, it's like I think we're about to run through all of them. So we need some more nincompoops out there.
I mean, there's no shortage. Did either of you guys do Justin Pearson or Justin Jones yesterday?
Oh, boy.
I feel like that's a win.
Yeah,
that's a layup drill.
Those are two right there. Well, and then the state senator who stood up on a desk holding up the Jim Crow sign.
Oh, yeah. What an idiot.
There was that.
Matt Murphy texted me. He said Murphy won yesterday.
Murphy, son of a biscuit eater.
That's what he said. So myself and my oldest son, Brooks, we will be bringing the trophy to Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply today in Murfreesboro. I told the kids, I said, I got to bring it in. And they said, Dad, can't we eat oatmeal out of it one more time? And I said, all right. I said, boys, this is going to be your last breakfast out of the trophy, but I need that thing cleaned by the time Murphy gets on the air.
Come on, man.
They said, yes, sir, we'll clean it.
Murphy just texted that the Jackson conspiracy circle is complete.
So I'll be down there. Listen, you know, Murphy wants to think that everybody's going to show up to see him, but I'll be down there at 3:00 with the trophy,
with the nincompoops trophy and crown,
with the crown. We might even load it up with some popcorn, so that way Murphy has a snack while he's on the air.
And little Bishop.
Bishop and Brooks, and we're gonna be rolling deep as we always do.
All right.
We got a squad, and I said we're gonna go there before baseball, and you know what? Murphy's gonna have to tell these kids that he needs that trophy back. They said, can we petition to keep the trophy? I said that's between you and Murphy.
Can we petition?
So that's going to be between you guys.
That'll have to go before the court of the nincompoops.
All right. Well, we'll see what the court decides this afternoon. I'll let the boys know. I'll send them a text.
It's an emergency injunction.
There's a motion to recall. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be down there this afternoon in the borough along with Murphy, 3:00-ish to hand back over that trophy.
If nothing else, it's a good chance to go by and see Brother Murphy and Brother Hand.
Man, it'll be fun. And get yourself some good landscape supply stuff.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a decent weekend. And you know, if you don't know what to get the wife for Mother's Day, plant some flowers.
There you go.
Grab some flowers at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. I saw a meme. My wife sent it to me.
Yeah.
They said, you know, they were planning Mother's Day. I said, you know, let's do it in the spring, right in the middle of baseball season, recital season, end of year projects, state testing. You know, and then we'll just give them right there in the middle of all the chaos. We'll put Mother's Day. We'll celebrate her all day, and then right as everybody's about to go to sleep, we can remind her we forgot that the book report's due the next day.
Yes.
It's 11:01 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got an injury crash, drivers. This is going to be White Bridge Pike right there at Charlotte Pike. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the Pentagon has released the first set of complete UFO files that President Trump promised to unveil. ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Luis Martinez has more.
The 161 files released by the Pentagon range from the first UFO reports filed in the 1940s to reports filed as recently as several years ago, all of them unresolved cases. They include out-of-focus low-definition photos that are being seen for the first time. The documents come from various federal agencies, and some are hundreds of pages long, while others are much shorter. The release of the documents follows a directive from President Trump earlier this year to open up all of the federal government's UFO files. The Pentagon's earlier reviews have not found any proof that the incidents were extraterrestrial in origin. Louis Martinez, ABC News, Washington.
Right now in Tennessee, all ears and eyes on Chancery Court in Nashville, where the NAACP filed an emergency lawsuit to try to block the new congressional map that splits the only black majority district in Tennessee, Memphis, 3 separate ways, giving Republicans a chance for a 9-0 majority to help the GOP retain control of the U.S. House. Meanwhile, in a significant setback for Democrats, Virginia's highest court has struck down the redistricting referendum that voters narrowly approved last month. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The Virginia Supreme Court ruled 4-3 that the Democratic-led legislature didn't follow proper procedure. The Commonwealth's Constitution says lawmakers must vote to approve a ballot measure twice, both before and after a statewide legislative election. In this case, the court said the referendum was first approved too late, after more than 1 million people had already voted early in 2025. All across America, Democrats had hoped last month's narrow approval of the Virginia referendum would mean 4 more House seats would land in their column.
Former passengers and potential cases connected with the hantavirus outbreak aboard a cruise ship now being monitored around the world. The ship on its way to the Canary Islands, where Spanish health officials are preparing for isolated evacuations. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Sources say the CDC has classified the hantavirus outbreak as a level 3 emergency response, meaning the risk to the general public remains low but is being closely monitored. Teams of scientists and physicians have been activated as they race to stop the spread of the virus. U.S. health officials now monitoring at least 7 Americans in 5 states, including Arizona, California, Virginia, Texas, and Georgia for possible infections, though none have shown symptoms.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
7 minutes past the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Scott Sepiki in studio. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Chris, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm cheating on Murphy, I think.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. It happens. He's not even here today. He's going to be in Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay.
So it's fine. It's fine. By the way, Ken, are you back there?
Yes, sir.
Did I tell you what my 4-year-old said the other day?
What'd he say?
So my youngest girl, Millie, we're driving to Kennedy's recital in Cannon County, okay?
Yes, sir.
And you're doing your traffic report. And I keep reminding myself of this every time I introduce myself. So you end the traffic report and you go, "I'm Ken Weaver."
Yeah.
My 4-year-old goes, "Oh my gosh, we know." I should have told you that before Scott got in here, but I just remembered, and I was like, "Excuse me?" She goes, "He says it every time."
From the mouths of babes.
You gotta love them.
I've accomplished my goal.
But I love it. I love the kids. Listen, everything we're doing is for the kids. Our prime has passed us. I think we can all agree on that. And I think that Tennessee is making some really good moves to secure Tennessee being Tennessee for the relative future.
Right.
And because of that, you guys are dealing with some heat.
We are. I mean, this session was about ideas, right? Who has the best ideas? And we believe as Republicans on the border, on immigration, on healthcare, on education, right? We believe that our ideas are better for Tennesseans, proven by how many people want to come and live here with us, right?
Yep.
How many people want to experience what it means to be a Tennessean? And what you're seeing is a total rejection of the Democrat ideas.
Yeah.
And so we have an obligation as legislators to make sure that we protect the 7 million people of Tennessee. I didn't say black or white. I didn't say male or female. I didn't say Democrat or Republican, because we all live under the same Constitution and laws that we enact.
Yeah.
And that's why when we enact laws, there can be no discrimination on race, creed, color, sex, protected class, right? It's to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity. And the ideas that we're trying to bring forth right now, because of the voters, our ideas are being supported by more Tennesseans than not.
So let's backtrack a little bit. In the couple of weeks leading up to this special session.
You mean like the week before the General Assembly ended?
Yeah. How did this all come together, and how did we get here?
Well, I think what happened was it started with the tit for tat. You had California, and then you had Texas, and it just started to go back and forth across the country of legislatures trying to protect their states and their ideas. And we saw what happened in Virginia. But go back and look at history. Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, right? Maryland, they haven't had a Republican in decades.
Yeah.
So nobody complains about that. The left doesn't say, "Hey, you know what, Connecticut, that's unfair."
Well, I made the point to a caller earlier. My dad lives in New Hampshire. My mom lives in New Hampshire, both Republicans. They don't have any representation.
Right.
I think it's racist. I think it's because they're white.
So
I think it's only because they're white.
So let's. Oh, good Lord.
What? I'm already getting Scott in trouble.
So let's take their argument they had on the House floor. Right. There's 35% of the vote in Nashville is Republican. Every one of their representatives in the House is all Democrat. So under the Democrats' logic, wait a second, 35% of the Republicans in Nashville should be represented by Republicans. Okay, so which three are going to lose their seats? That's not the way it works. You put forth ideas and the people vote for them. And if they like your ideas, they go with your vote. We got here in Tennessee based off understanding that, number one, the ideas that we are espousing is moving the republic forward. Number two, the Democrats' ideas are not. We have an obligation to make sure that the elections are fair. There is nothing in the legislation that I've read that prohibits a Democrat from going to vote for a Democrat. There's nothing in state law that prohibits a Democrat from going to vote for a Republican. It's just the way we are.
Yeah. I mean, I was voting in the primaries the other day, and I was joking. There was an elderly woman in front of me, and they said, I'm just standing in line. There's like 4 of us in there because nobody votes in these primaries. Mm-hmm. And they said, she goes, "Which ballot would you like?" And she goes, "Oh, Republican." And I joked. I'm standing there with my wife. I said, "Oh, you made the right choice." And this woman turns around and she's wearing a purple shirt that says "Stop Banning Books, ACLU." And she goes, "I'm selecting the one that's going to be easier for the Democrats to beat."
Oh boy.
I was like, I thought about saying, well, that's an uphill battle, but I decided to just back off. Have a great day, ma'am.
Which is a reason why we should close the primaries.
Amen.
Which, and then, we need to move all of our municipal elections to August and November.
Yep.
I ran that bill this year. We passed it in the House, really no debate. We passed it in the House, and then it died in the Senate. We've got to get these election laws in place, closing the primaries, getting all these elections to August and November, because we've got to get the maximum amount of people out there to vote when it's time to vote, and making sure that they understand who you're voting for and why you're voting and where you're supposed to be voting.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the special session.
Sure.
So when did you get the call that the special session was going into play?
I heard talk about it through all the representatives probably on Friday-ish.
Okay.
And, hey, be prepared, keep next week free. That's normally, this is my 7th one. It's like, it means, something's coming. And then we heard, about the call with, Governor Lee and then Senator Blackburn and President Trump. And so we're like, okay, so what's the prospectus here? And come in on Tuesday, probably get out by Thursday. Came in on Tuesday. We didn't have a map. The Senate and the House were arguing about the lines, trying to figure out what it was going to look like.
What does that process look like when you guys are drawing the map? How many people are involved in drawing the map, and how much debate is there? Like, who's in the room, and what's the debate look like when you're drawing that?
You probably have most of the leadership in the room, and then it's all technology now, right, Chris? It's moving lines on a map, and the numbers change accordingly, and you got to be balanced. So if you move this, you got to move that, and try to figure out how to make it work. If you look at the lines, which is interesting, the lines that we just had yesterday, they were more vertical, right? And the lines we have in the new prospectus are more horizontal. That's all it was. We just, instead of being vertically aligned, now we're horizontally aligned. And, those came out. There was a couple tweaks that needed to be done. And finally we got the map out, I think probably Tuesday, probably Wednesday, late evening.
How tense do those debates get on the lines?
Well, you got to agree. I mean, if you don't agree, there's no bill, right? And so from what I understand, the Senate had some requirements that were non-starter. They had to have these, and the House had them, and then I think they just kind of worked it out. I mean, both speakers kind of get together with the majority leaders, and I'll give you this, you give me that, and then eventually you have lines. And then when we saw the districts, it was pretty easy to figure out, hey, we just shifted it from vertical to horizontal.
Was everybody kind of in lockstep with the map, or was there anybody that was I mean, you don't have to name names if you don't want to, but was it just across the board, all you guys are like, all right, bet this is the one, we're rolling?
Yeah, I think what you saw was, like, my main concern was, you saw the original map that Senator Blackburn put out that had Murray County broken up into 3, and I'm like, we can't do that. I mean, I let leadership know right away, we can't do that. We can go back to split, because we used to have Congressman Green and Congressman Desjardins, and it works great. As a state representative, if I can make multiple phone calls to congressmen, that helps me out.
Okay.
It helps me express my thoughts or my opinions to multiple people that can now carry those to their networks up in Washington, right? I think a lot of the districts that got split into 2 made sense, right? It gives me more representation. It gives me more of a voice. It gives me more opportunity to get grants, to get programs, to get road projects from the feds. So I think it was pretty much unified pretty quick that, hey, this makes sense. We're okay with that. And then you got to look at all the other language, all the other bills that we had to carry of, okay, how does this make this happen? And when we got to the House floor, Chris, the Democrats ran 37 amendments on the bills. We sat there and heard every one of them quietly. We listened to every one they had. And then after those were all disposed of, then we went into the debate, right? 47 minutes. What's President Trump's number? 47 minutes of debate on one side, 47 minutes of debate on the other, right? We sat there and listened to Democrats for 47 minutes. You heard the speeches by Justin Pearson and Jason Powell, right? And Antonio Parkinson calling for secession from Tennessee, right? And as soon as it shifted to the other side, now they pounded us for 2.5 hours on democracy, right?
Yep. And white supremacy.
And as soon as it shifted to the other side, all the democracy went out the door. We're going to disrupt. We're going to stop. There's going to be no more conversation.
And then it was just absolute chaos.
And it was chaos and anger.
Why hasn't Justin Pearson or Justin Jones faced charges yet when it comes to their behavior yesterday?
Well, I think you weigh it as, do you give them what they want? They want to be arrested. Justin Pearson wants to be arrested. Justin Jones wants to be arrested so it can be about a black man. I tell you this, the troopers that handled Justin Pearson, they should be given a letter of commendation because that could have spiraled out of control. There's a photo of a sergeant at arms keeping Justin Pearson out of a committee, right? You watch, it's going to wind up on Time magazine. But if the chairman clears the room and I'm not on the committee, I can't go back in the room. I'm not on the committee.
Right.
He was doing his job. The room was cleared. He was not allowed to go back in. And you know the worst part about it is he knows it, Chris. When I see Representative Jones and Representative Pearson or Representative Johnson or fill in any representative on the Democrat side, when I see them in the hallway or I'm sitting with them in committee, we're laughing and joking and having a good time and how's your family doing? And hey, I heard this about you. It's just people, right? But then you turn the cameras on and it becomes performative.
And that actually elevates the temperature quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because while they understand that it's a performance, I'm sure that they do, as you mentioned.
Right.
You guys are cordial, you know?
Yeah.
The voters and the leftists in the state, they don't necessarily understand that.
Right.
And they think this is as life and death as Justin Pearson makes it seem. They think that this is just as much a systemic oppression as they're labeling it to be. And does that make it unsafe for you guys, for the conservatives in the legislature?
This was the first time in 8 years up there I felt unsafe. I'm a pretty big guy, right? I pretty much walk around how I please, right? This was the first time that I felt unsafe, that the vitriol, the hatred. When I was walking out of the chamber, somebody yelled at me that they hoped my wife would be raped by a black man. Okay?
The party of tolerance, my friends.
Right. The party of let's discuss idea. No, there's no more discussion. You do what we want, or you're a racist, or you're a white supremacist, or you're a bigot, right?
Somebody really said that to you about your wife.
Yes. And I sent you a video about my good friend Deborah Moody and Kevin Vaughn walking out of the House chamber, and the ugliness that people were shouting at Deborah Moody, and you can hear one lady say that, I hope your daughter is raped by a black man. Okay, this is about ideas. The ideas of closing our borders, of getting illegals out of our country, of having good education, of making sure health care, people have health care, to make sure our roads, right? This should be about ideas, Chris. And whoever has the best ideas are the ones that sit in the chairs up in the General Assembly. We're trying to espouse good ideas for the people of Tennessee so that your children, when they go to a time and place that you and I aren't going to be there because we're going to be gone, that they understand what it means to fight for the Republic. And what their constitutional rights are, and what the Bill of Rights grants them, and their ability to say what they want to say in free speech without inciting violence. What Justin Pearson did up in the balcony, what Justin Jones did on the House floor with the air horn, what he did burning out there in front of people, and what the Democrats did up front was not what we're about in Tennessee. We're about ideas.
Scott Sepiki's in studio. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. If you got any questions for the representative, you can text him in, 615-737-9986. You can pick up the phone as well. We'll be back in moments, 11:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Now, when you start noticing cracks in your walls, uneven floors, or a driveway that's starting to sink, it's not a home issue, it's a peace of mind issue. And who you trust to fix, well, that matters big time. This is why I'm going to recommend United Structural Systems. They've been doing it the right way since 1994 right here in Tennessee. Over 30,000 Tennessee families have been helped. and they're helped without scare tactics, without quick fixes, just real inspections, honest answers, and solutions that are built to last. Now, whether it's foundation repair, crawl space issues, or concrete leveling for your driveway or your patio, USS is using engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. Right now, they're offering 24 months, no interest financing, but only through the end of June. Don't wait, because waiting could always cost you more. You visit USSTN.com or pick up the phone and call them today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems, they're committed to their customers and invested in what matters most. We are USS, USSTN.com.
Drivers got a crash. 65 southbound at Long Hollow Pike in Goodlettsville. White Bridge, an injury crash. White Bridge Pike at Charlotte Pike. The Pentagon has begun posting hundreds of so-called UFO files online. We'll tell you about that and other top stories at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 5 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Scott Sepiki in studio. You were talking to me offline, off air. Said, you feel like this is one of the best years that you've had.
Oh, yeah.
In Tennessee.
Man, we really, for Tennesseans, we really moved the ball in education, tightening things up, driving things forward for excellence, getting more baseness, there's a word for you, baseness in the classroom, of getting more towards the teachers leading education instead of electronics. In education, getting more of in higher education. Hey, you're going to be paid off of moving these kids in 4 years and 2 years for an associate's instead of 6 and 4. Hey, let's get these kids in. Let's get them through. Let's get them into the workforce, right? We doubled down on career technical training of expanding that the best we can. In healthcare, we went after the PBMs and breaking up that monopoly. Folks, they're not going to close any pharmacies. They're not going to close. They make $4 billion a year, billion. They're not walking away from $4 billion. They'll figure out a workaround. They will. On roads, we invested more. We've got over $5 billion now sitting with TDOT to do road projects.
Huge.
If you follow Interstate 65, what we have in June Lake, that's going to get fixed. That's in the process right now of getting expanded. We doubled down on our parks. We doubled down. If you've been to our antiquated rest areas in Tennessee, they're all getting a makeover. We are putting our best foot forward. We were able to send more money back to the locals for parks, for projects, for courthouse renovations, right? To make your communities better. It is a golden age in Tennessee right now that we have, and I think in the next 4 to 5 years, we could really see Tennessee take a leadership role in the country.
Yet all of that advancement, all of those huge wins, completely overshadowed by this last week.
By us white race supremacists, KKK members.
So here's something that drives me nuts. Memphis has been a hellhole for years.
Troubled.
Okay.
Be nice.
You say nice. Tomato, I say tomato.
Right.
But what changed it was a Republican governor and a Republican president.
Yeah, we had enough.
Not the Democrat representatives that have been in power there for years.
Ideas, right? So the Democrats' response to the trouble in Memphis was what? Send me more money. Well, we've been sending them billions. And we reached a point of time enough. My son played football for Memphis. Now he plays for UT Martin. In Memphis, when he got there at the school parking lot, his truck got broken into twice in the first week. Okay? So we reached a point in time that we had to step in for the society, right? We had to secure Memphis. But what we did in the General Assembly this year, is we passed a bill that, hey, if you're not going to provide a good education for your students, then we have to step in at the state and provide that leadership for you. So now we had the Memphis Safe Task Force that now has been approval for the National Guard to continue to stay there. We've added 40 more troopers that are going to be patrolling Memphis to provide a safe environment for the people of Memphis. Now we're going into that school system and get that school system turned around. We get that safe Memphis, right, where people can live and enjoy their community. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of beautiful places in Memphis to go. Their zoo is incredible, right? Now we get the school system performing it the way it is. What kind of economic investment is going to flow into Memphis that's going to create job opportunities for these kids that are graduating? We've got Louisville City that's not too far away. Another discussion, different argument, right? But we can create a Memphis that becomes an economic juggernaut to join Nashville.
And we can't have peak Tennessee unless we have Memphis operating at a high level.
We cannot get to top 10 in education. That's what I'm looking for, right? I can't get us to top 10 in education without Memphis and Nashville at least at state average. We get Memphis and Nashville at state average, Chris, we're top 10 in the country.
How quickly can you do that?
I'm hoping in the next 4 to 5 years.
It's a big goal.
That's the goal. 4 to 5 years, we're top 10 in the country. We have Memphis and Nashville at state average academically. And then that puts pressure on everybody else because guess what? Who don't you want to be behind if you're one of these other districts? Memphis or Nashville.
You're absolutely right. Scott Sepiki's in the studio. We'll take some of your phone calls when we get back. 615-737-9986. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. So the Pentagon has started posting hundreds of so-called UFO files online, offering the public a closer look at decades of unexplained sightings. Officials say there's nothing in what was released today that proves any alien life or extraterrestrial life. The Defense Department says additional files will be released on a rolling basis. Right now in Tennessee, we're waiting to see what a chancery court in Nashville does with the NAACP lawsuit. That is an attempt to block the new congressional map. It splits up the state's only black majority district, Memphis, into 3 separate districts to give Republicans a potential 9th majority to help the GOP retain control of the U.S. House. Meanwhile, in Virginia, the Virginia Supreme Court has struck down a voter-approved congressional redistricting referendum that could have given Democrats up to 4 additional U.S. House seats. But as a result of today's ruling by the Virginia Supreme Court, Virginia's going to have to keep using its existing congressional districts for the 2026 elections. Former passengers and potential cases connected with that hantavirus outbreak aboard a cruise ship now being monitored around the world. One of those known to have left from St. Helena is a Dutch woman whose husband is believed to be the first to die from the virus after possibly contracting it from rodents during a bird-watching stop. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo with more.
Ruhi Chenet was on board and noticed fellow passengers attempting to comfort the man's widow.
Everyone was trying to support her socially, giving her hugs, talking to her at every meal. And that's when it got really dangerous.
Ruhi was on the same flight as her from St. Helena to Johannesburg 13 days later.
I saw her health deteriorating. I saw her in a wheelchair while she was boarding the plane. She was having hard times to stand upright, and she looked really ill.
2 days later, she died.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. I got Representative Scott Sepiki in studio. A crazy couple days at the special session, to say the least.
To say the least.
How are you feeling after everything?
Overwhelmed a little bit. I mean, it was a lot to take in and a lot to study, looking at the maps, because we help each other, right? I just don't look at Murray County. I look at Murray County, then I look at Williamson, I look at Marshall. I make sure everybody else, so we have multiple eyes looking on these districts to make sure that we don't see an anomaly, right? If you're just looking at your own area, you may not see the broad spectrum.
Yep.
And so, we look across the whole state looking for anomalies. Hey, by the way, but there's not much input on this one here because it was so fast.
Do you feel like you've had any time to decompress from what went down yesterday to really kind of take a step back? And is it kind of like we just lived through a pretty historical moment here in Tennessee?
No, you move on. We have TCAPs going on. We have the bills we just passed in education, so we're making sure that those get implemented. We're working on, I'll tell you right now, we're already working on next year's legislation because guess what's happening this year? We're getting a new governor. So how's that going to play into effect in education or healthcare or whatever, right? What is that governor? I mean, we've got three choices right now, right? Well, there's more than three, but we have three choices. And, how are each one of those going to govern? And one of the things that we've tried to do, especially on the House side, is keep moving things forward, especially in education, that we are driving education. We are taking it to the place we want it to, and then we'll incorporate the new governor's thoughts into that on how we can take what we have and our direction we're going and maybe see something that we've missed and incorporate that into our plans.
Pretty cool stuff. All right, so Scott Sepiki's in here. I'm sure a lot of the audience has questions for you when it comes to what went down yesterday, so we're opening up the phone lines, 615-737-9986. Let's go to Terry in Chapel Hill. What's up, Terry? Terry. All right, we'll check on Terry. Hang on. Let's go to Brian in Greenbrier. What's up, Brian?
What's up, man? Hey, you know what? Millie be knowing.
Millie be knowing. She does. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're on with Scott Sepiki. What do you got?
I wanted to say that in front of an education guy so he would understand. I think he does.
People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
They're killing me.
But it do. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we have representatives make up words on the House floor all the time.
Well, I'm sure after yesterday, you can make up a few yourself.
Yes, that's true.
I hate that you feel you're not scared, but I hate that you feel unsafe. I think that's a travesty. I don't like two things you said, and I want to just be honest with you. I'm a product of a private school education after the 8th grade, public up until the 8th grade. My father, who never darkened the door of a church, sent me to a Christian school. Get that. Made the difference in my life. Met my wife there. We've been married 43 years. I'm a believer, and I appreciate your testimony when you speak. The thing that gets me is you think we'll be top 10 in the nation, which is, it's really not a bragging point. Do you think?
Well, with my goals, it is, because my goal is 100% literacy.
Okay. Well, I don't know that that'll ever happen, but have you ever just taken time, I don't know if you have or can even, and just visited a public school around Nashville?
Oh, my. I've been to probably 37 of them.
Unannounced.
37 of them. Well, unannounced to a point, because once I knock on the door, Adrian Battle knows I'm there.
I get it. But there's zoos, bro. That's the bad thing about it. If you go in, there's no discipline, and you go in certain different parts of the city. You know that because, and I don't think that's a slam to anybody in particular, but I don't like that, and I don't like that y'all give the TDOT people all that money, because everybody's known in Tennessee for years and years and years, and I'm from here. I'm 65. That's a slush fund over there. I don't see them out on the roads like I used to. I work part-time for U-Haul, so I travel all around the mid-state. And you mentioned 65 in June Lake. That's nice. It really is. It needed to be done. It'll provide growth to that area just by being there. And you did it first. Somebody did. You did that. You didn't wait for the tax money to come in with all the housing to build it. You went ahead and did that. I wish they would do more of that around the state, and especially 24 between here and Nashville and Clarksville and Murfreesboro. It's awful.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brian.
I see them out passing. Huh?
I think you're on the money. We'll let Scott Sepiki respond.
Well, I think on the education component here, I've visited 37 districts across the state, urban, rural, suburban, the whole thing, trying to get a taste of what our classrooms look like. And you're right, we have big problems in our major metropolitan cities on discipline, on academic scores, on teacher recruitment and retention. That's why we decided that Memphis, we had enough. We had to go in there and take an intervention. And hopefully Metro Nashville will see what we're doing in Memphis and take it to heart that we are serious and we mean business. We are going to get this educational system turned around. When I say top 10 in education, that's based off of my goals. My goals are every kid reads and writes and does math on grade level. Every kid has the opportunity that when they graduate to pick the career they want, the military, career technical, community college, 4-year, whatever they want to do, right? Because they can. I don't think we do that right now. I don't think our kids have the ability, most of our kids have the ability to pick and choose what they want to do is because they don't qualify. Did you know that over 50% of our kids who want to go in the military fail the ASVAB? 50%. They want to serve our country. And the military has to turn down over 50% of them. Do you know we have the highest remedial coursework in English, language, arts, and math in our 4-year colleges that we've ever had in Tennessee? Enough. If our kids, if our republic, if our children are going to go to a place and time that you and I, Chris, aren't going to go, they have to know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And on TDOT, we need more people. And the reason why you don't see so much out there is because we need more people in these technical fields to build the roads. For so long, we've told everybody, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be successful.
You really have been demonized if you don't go to college.
Right.
So you're looked at lower class.
We had NES the other day with the storm we had, right? We have a program at the Columbia State Community College called the Line Worker Program, the people that climb the telephone poles to get the power back on, right? Average starting pay is $70,000 a year. You can go through that program in 14 weeks and have a job waiting for you that's paying you $70,000 base. Do you know what they make when they're working on those storms? Double, triple, and quadruple time sometimes. Are we pushing those? We need to push those products. We need more people driving the construction equipment. We need more CDL drivers. We need more people working in the hospitals to just work in the hospitals, right?
Yep.
That's when I talk about we're going to lead the nation in education so our kids can choose. Your kids can choose whatever they want to because they know.
We're talking with Scott Sepiki. Gary in Springfield wants to talk about redistricting. What's up, Gary? You're on with Representative Sepiki. Gary. All right, we'll put Gary on hold to get a wellness check on Gary. Let's go to Matt in Goodlettsville. What's up, Matt?
Hey, yeah, a couple of questions there. Clearly censoring these people or anything is not doing the job. So why can't you have some alternatives to deal with them, like courtrooms do, where you put a button in to kill the camera feed so nobody can see what's going on? Also, get a fire marshal in there and clear out the hallway. Surely that's got to be a fire violation to have all those people yelling and screaming and stuff. And I figure that there's other ways to deal with some of these disruptors. Put metal detectors. Make everybody get searched before they go in. If high schoolers can do it, then you guys can do it. There's things you can do to prevent this from happening in the future. I'd like to see you do some of those things. That's pretty much all I got.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Matt. I would like to see this never happen again. I kind of agree. Censoring just feels ridiculous. It just feels like a waste of time and a waste of tax dollars. So what can we do?
Well, we already have metal detectors to get in, so that's taken care of there. Maybe we need to go to the clear bags, like you do for football games or stuff like that. Maybe we need to say, hey, you can't take a cell phone with you. You got to leave it out here. There's things we can do to make it more secure. It is the people's house. Remember that. People have a right to come in and watch what we do.
Yeah.
I think that the thing we can do, and I talked about this earlier with some colleagues, we have to have the rhetoric turned down. It's got to go back to being about ideas, right? And get the hatred out. Get the speeches about we're still here, right? You did this and it's not about that.
Right.
And I think as Democrats, Republicans, this is what the two main parties are, right? We need to come out publicly together and say, enough. We're going to win this election off ideas. We're going to go to the voters and say, these are our ideas. This is why we believe it's a better idea than our opponents. Vote for us. And I'm going to be honest with you, until my opponents on the other side of the aisle come forward with better ideas, Tennessee's going to continue to vote red because our ideas are driving the state of Tennessee forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a woman by the name of Ajua Mason on CNN last night, and she said something that I thought was so good. She's a black female. She's a conservative. She's in Texas politics.
Mm-hmm.
But the statement that she made was towards a liberal on a panel, and I want to play this and get your reaction.
Discounted that statement, and now here we are seeing a black man in Tennessee fight to keep the only black district that they have there being totally erased off the map. And I just think, there needs to be more, those conversations need to be tied together.
There's no such thing as a black district or a white district. It's an American district.
Amen. So how do we get back to that?
You gotta elect people that have the best interest and ideas. You got to get back to ideas. She's 100% right. If there's a white district in Tennessee, that's illegal. If there's a black district in Tennessee, it's illegal. You can't do that.
Unconstitutional.
You can't draw a district of all female, or you can't do it, right? You can't discriminate on race, creed, color, sex, etc. You draw the districts. Now, they did give us the ability to draw districts off of partisanship. That's totally legal. Okay? Here's what's interesting.
Matt, but I thought he was on the money. He's like, Pearson's mad because his gravy train's drying up.
Yeah.
He looked at an opportunity where he was going to be able to oust an old white man, get into that district in Memphis, and then coast for the rest of his political career. Is that where the anger and vitriol is coming from, do you think?
100%. They know that unless they keep the clicks and the likes coming, right? Unless they're making national news for fighting against the establishment, right? That money doesn't keep coming in from California and from New York, and they use that money. Let's face it, it's about the money. Look at Charlene Oliver in the Senate yesterday. You ever think you'd see a state senator in Tennessee climb up on their desk, right? The desk that passed the vote for women to vote in our country, right? The place of Jackson, the place of Boone, right? And Crockett, right? What in the world?
Yeah.
What are you doing there? Because it's clicks and likes. Chris, I'm about ideas. There's going to be somebody sitting in District 64 seat long after I'm gone. My job is to go to the General Assembly and create the best ideas and the best plans for the people of Tennessee so that they can live the best life that they possibly can with their family without Big Brother looking over their shoulder. That's my job. And I think right now with the amount of people that's probably moved to Tennessee since our conversation started today is testimony that we're doing it right.
Got time for a couple more calls with Representative Scott Sepiki. Let's go to Craig in Chapel Hill on district lines. What's up, Craig?
Hey, brother, how you doing today? Scott Sepiki, I see you sitting over there. Hey, Scott, this is Craig Blackwell down here in Marshall County.
Good to see you, sir.
Just won the big primary. I'm running for mayor down here, so I got the Republican nominee, so we're going to continue working on that. And I just wanted to ask you a quick question. First, that redistricting. What is it going to do to Marshall County? I noticed, you hit it right on the head. It's more horizontal, so we're going to see, our district really, really spread out. And how's that going to affect us as far as representation? I guess, is that good or bad?
Well, that's a great question. I think it's going to give us. I think Brent Taylor has thrown his hat in the ring for running for that congressional ninth. Marshall County will be now in the congressional ninth. Half of Murray County will be in there. Giles County, Lincoln County, Fayette County, Moore County, Bedford County. Williamson will be in there. And so Senator Taylor, who serves in the General Assembly, Make Memphis Matter with the Safe Task Force and all that, he has thrown $2 million, I think $1 million or $2 million of his own money into it. And
have you heard about Charlotte Bergman potentially running for that as well?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Charlotte?
She got to raise a lot of money. I mean, you've got Senator Taylor say he's willing to put in $2 million of his own money. That's pretty much going to clear the field on one side, I can tell you that. He's a good man. I think he has some good ideas. He's shown it in the General Assembly. He's sacrificing from being one of 33 to now one of 435. I wish him all the luck in the world. Or whoever gets that seat, right? I mean, good luck.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's go to Hank in Franklin. What's up, Hank? How are you?
Hey, guys. Just out of curiosity, how in the world can Pearson set fire in our state capitol?
Jones.
It was, yeah, that was Justin Jones, but they're interchangeable.
Either one.
Well, that's what, and that's where, so it's fairly interesting. Outside the chamber, I believe it's the governor. Inside the chamber, it's the speaker. So the governor is responsible for the Capitol and the Capitol grounds. Well, when it's outside the chamber, that's going to be the governor. So when he lit that imaginary flag on fire,
the Confederate flag that he printed off his printer and brought with him.
You think with the millions of dollars he has in his war chest, he could buy a real flag, but he couldn't. But I think that's going to fall under Governor Lee's purview outside the chamber. We're going to try to handle with the speaker what happened inside the chamber with the tools in our tool belt when we come back for the 115th.
Okay. What do you think Governor Lee's legacy in this state looks like after everything is said and done?
I think he had it grossly interrupted by COVID. We were on a roll for a while, and then COVID happened and kind of disrupted that for a couple of years. But I think the way we recovered with doubling down on going back to phonics in education, going back to teaching kids how to read, write, and do math, demanding more accountability in education, transforming healthcare, breaking up all those monopolies in Tennessee, dumping billions of dollars into technical colleges, looking at our roads and unprecedented amounts of money going into our roads and infrastructure, the tunnel in Nashville.
The BNA hole.
The BNA hole.
Well, that's what everybody calls it.
Okay, well, I don't call it that.
Well, from then, 9 to noon, Scott.
I hear you. And then you got the new stadium going in. I mean, I think Governor Lee is going to be taking what the previous governor started, accelerating it on steroids, setting it up for the next governor to carry this thing across the finish line. And I think the finish line is great economic, great educational, and great places to come and relax and enjoy your life.
Where does Tennessee stand in the next 10 years, and are we the conservative leader in the country?
I think we will surpass Florida and Texas as being the conservative leader, and I think that we will become an economic giant in the southeast United States.
Scott Sepiki, how can we keep up with you off the air?
You can, it's scottsepiki.com, the www.scottsepiki.com, or just follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm all over the place.
Scott Sepiki, thank you for the time, man. I appreciate you and all the hard work that you've done. It's 11:55. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.